against Cloud9 and see just
Einen guten Draft in der Row. Du schaffst es, du
There's
schaffst
so
es, du
much
schaffst es.
significance to this very next game because if 100 Thieves wins,
Dann
it's
sind wir
not like they
59.
just extend their season for tomorrow.
Wir sind
or for
59.
this weekend. They'll then be in the LTA playoffs and have the chance to extend it to Worlds. But also, if C9 fails, it's historic in that sense.
Draft es an, komm, komm, komm. Ich habe doch den Draft gesehen. Komm, zeig her.
For the
Komm.
first time in their organization's history, and be firmly labeled as playoff chokers.
And honestly, in a lot of ways, both these players are playing for a spot next year, right? You know, 100 Thieves, this is kind of their audition for teams next year. This is you showing, hey, you should sign me to your team next year. 100 Thieves won't be here, but some of these players very likely will.
Yeah.
If they're able
Wo ist der
to
Draft?
69, if they're able to keep going,
Ich habe doch den Draft auf dem Screen gesehen.
every single time.
Yeah.
And likewise for
Okay.
C9, the expectations
Zeri Game 5 raus für Loki.
if you
Ja.
do not even
Also hier raus,
qualify for
okay.
the LTA playoffs, you
Pantheon raus wahrscheinlich noch.
and very likely they're
Maokai raus. Oh nein, sie nehmen den einzigen Unskilled-Champ weg vom Blaber.
also, in a lot of ways,
Jinx offen, Jinx offen.
today there's so much pressure
Pantheon
in
raus.
this final game.
Well, here we go. Let's get into it as the first ban of the
Jinx
draft.
raus.
100 Thieves back on the blue side for this game 5. They do
Pantheon
not
raus.
want to face
Annie
the
raus.
mid-lane Zeri from
Annie raus,
Loki.
okay, Pantheon
They
raus.
watched the Disguise series. They remember what happened in that 5th and final game. C9 focusing on more standard mid laners to target against 100 Thieves with Azir and Annie.
Pantheon is still up, so we'll
Ich kann nicht.
see.
Bitte, 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 bitte. Band Pantheon auf 3. Und oh nein, und dann kriegen sie Jinx.
Available.
Yone, which has been banned the whole series by Cloud9.
Yone and Pantheon both up. They're not going to get banned on blue side, so that's what I'm
Hallo,
really
Caro.
thinking.
Yeah.
Is
Ja,
C9
aber
gonna
heute ist
leave
noch
both
kurz.
open and
Am
go for
Sonntag
a
wird lang.
trade? And they're going to say,
Tag wird
you know,
länger.
we're not going to ban Yone or Pantheon. You take Yone, we'll take Pantheon. But if you're going to do that,
Wieso
you
bist du
have
noch
to
wach?
be
Caro
willing
war
to actually
saufen.
take the Yone as well, because they might just first
Caro
pick
war
the
saufen,
Pantheon.
deswegen.
So this is pretty dicey, but I feel like the most sense, the thing that makes
Ban
most sense
Pantheon,
from
Ban
this position
Pantheon.
is to do a trade and not
Ban
to try to
Pantheon,
trade
du kannst
one,
nichts
because
dagegen
if you're
spielen. Du
gonna
kannst
run
nichts dagegen
things
spielen, Blaber.
down,
Versuch sie nicht einzureden.
and then I don't know what value you
Oh
get. So
nein, nein, nein. Pantheon ist offen. Nein, nein, nein.
or Pantheon
Okay,
trade
maybe
here,
Pantheon first pick Jinx.
NA.
Jinx, lock sie ein.
And so
Lock den
this
Unskilled
is
Shit
up.
Champ ein,
The
bitte.
question is, what do they want more? Do you want River on Pantheon or do you want Quid on the Yone?
Both are such enticing options, too. River's
Pantheon
been
is
having a
bait.
good series today. Seeing him on something like the Pantheon that, like you say, is pretty much permanently banned here in North America would be very scary stuff, and that's exactly what we're going to get
Okay.
River Pantheon, Game 5.
And now the question is
Unskilled, unskilled, unskilled. Ich brauche was Unskilltes. Bitte, bitte. Okay, das ist unskilled. Wichtig. Das ist wieder dieser Blind Leona Pick in Game 5.
Will let it through. They're actually just chilling on it entirely.
Yeah, they're letting it go back over. 100 Thieves can get River on Pantheon and Quid on Yone in the same game if they want it.
Okay, aber Trundle ist schon mal, okay. Trundle ist schon mal super unskilled.
Pretty good against it.
Trundle ist schon mal super unskilled. Das gefällt mir sehr. Jax auf 3. Bitte Jax auf 3, Jax auf 3, Jax auf 3. Bitte, pick Jax für den Alien.
Most banned. So it's 60 out of 60 coming into this game. So it had 100% ban rate in this entire split, assuming my stats here that I have
Okay.
are correct.
Nein, die gehen 6, oder?
First time
Oh, die
it's
draften
actually let
6.
through, and Cloud9 are
Die
letting
Unskilled
it through
Dogs.
in a game
Bin sind wir für
5
C9.
with their
Gegen
gear
Blauber
on the
für
line.
C9.
Could just blind pick Gwen
Die
here.
picken 6 oder nicht?
Let's get all the band champions at once.
Jax auf 3 für den Alien.
Just triple melee top
Pick
side,
Jax,
but everything
bitte.
is an S-tier pick.
I mean,
Bitte
it's
pick
kind of
Jax.
crazy, right? Cloud9 have got to have a
Jax.
real plan against
Jax.
this because you are kind of essentially letting
Jax.
them blind pick their first
Bitte.
pick on blue side in a game 5, right? Like these are the champions that are getting
Jax,
banned
bitte.
so often.
Lass uns bitte
All
gewinnen.
3 in a row on blue side in a game 5. That is crazy. Usually in game 5 you have to go,
Pick
way
Jax.
outside of the norm. But you have to
Pick
know
Jax,
Cloud9
Jax, Jax,
clearly
Jax,
understanding
Jax,
what
bitte.
they're giving over. So they have to be prepared with some sort of a plan. And it's Vladimir coming out here, which is very interesting. Vladimir can be super effective into these melee compositions, but you are so dependent upon your pool timing. Vladimir is one of my favorite champs. It is really, really strong against these sort of comps. That being said, you get point and click stunned by Pantheon. You do not pool a split second too late. Sometimes you just instantaneously
Okay, aber es könnte ja theoretisch. Es könnte ja noch Midlane Vladimir sein. Okay, und jetzt bannen wir, okay, die bannen jetzt nicht Jax, wir picken Jax auf 4-5. Midlane Vladimir, wir kriegen Jax auf 4-5.
Maybe they're just saying, hey, give me X matchup,
Bitte.
I'll slam it.
This is still crazy to me as a game 5
Ban Smolder.
game draft.
Ban Smolder, er ist so
Just be
unskilled.
willing to to trade
Und
all of
Smolder
these
erst so
picks, because
unskilled, bitte.
they've been comfortable just banning out
Und Smolder.
Yone Pantheon on red side in their previous games. To let it through here,
Von Smolder.
they must have some insane confidence with this Vladimir.
Yeah, because in my mind, I'm like, wouldn't you rather have Quid playing Annie?
I mean, and they picked
You know
the
what I mean?
Trundle. They picked the Trundle so early as well. So that means they didn't have it. Like, they could have had Yone Gwen themselves if they wanted it in the Pantheon.
So I think that Trundle, obviously, to me, Trundle is very strong, and there's a
Ken?
lot less AD junglers left. So
Ken,
maybe
okay,
they were
okay.
thinking,
Actually, gute Buns, gute,
Pantheon, and maybe
Yeah.
it's
gute Buns,
something
gute
like
Buns.
a Scion from Dope
Gute Buns
they're
gebe ich ihm.
potentially concerned about, or that
Yeah.
answers that well. But obviously, that's not available. It's already gone. So, like, I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly on the thought process here.
All right.
Man, interesting.
Yeah, we've got Shen and Ziggs banned
Okay,
out by C9 here.
ich will jetzt keinen Hui sehen. Sehe ich jetzt hier einen Maler?
So that does
Einen Maler, bitte. Warum Shenman Shen Support?
Jin also going to be banned away here.
Keinen Maler, bitte, bei Gott, bitte kein Maler.
But this also just proves like game
Ich Smolder.
Fearless is the most
Ja, okay,
puzzle
ja,
you'll ever
ja, okay.
see, for every single
Okay.
game. There's no
Aber die gehen, okay, aber die gehen doch jetzt einfach Smolder, oder nicht? Smolder Milio,
This will be
super
the
unskilled.
first time they brought it on stage in this important of a game.
Yeah, I mean, worked out for Loki on the Zeri mid. Obviously, it
did.
wasn't the first, but was a departure from the norm. FBI considering Smolder here, looking scaling for scaling. This is a pretty common answer into Senna. When you are playing Senna, you say, we'll go bar for bar.
Ein
You wanna
Milio,
scale,
pick
I'm gonna
irgendwas
scale
useless,
two. You're
bitte.
gonna get a stack, I'm gonna get two. So, definitely looking to do that. Fifth pick here is for one of the solo lanes. So this Vlad could be mid or top. They are gonna have their answer here of this final pick. And the question is, what is Ayla going?
Nicht Milio, irgendwas unskilltes, nicht Milio, irgendwas Dummes.
Something else. Tarek, though. Ayla Tarek.
I actually kind of love that. So a lot of people think of Tarek as like, how does they answer? They're engaged. No,
Tarek
use
ist gut,
Tarek
ja.
alt offensive.
Okay.
It's actually so much better that way because you're guaranteeing value. So you strap the Bastion.
Okay,
you know,
TF ist sehr OP mit Rapid Fire. TF ist sehr OP mit Rapid
Not
Fire.
only is he the
Ich werde mich so
anti-protagonist doing a
gaslighten.
million
TF ist sehr OP mit
DPS,
Rapid Fire.
now he's immune.
Okay, ihr habt 2
And
Minuten,
this
ihr habt 2
is
Minuten.
literal
Das wird schon
off of
passen, das wird schon
as
passen,
well,
oder? Das wird fein sein, das ist fein, das ist
really,
fein.
really scary. That Bastion Dazzle, they are going TF here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's winnable, maybe. Vielleicht ist winnable.
So it does really feel like
Vielleicht ist winnable.
this is all about Vladimir. I feel like kind of all the eggs are in the Thanatos basket here.
Oh.
Thanatos being able to get this Vladimir, as an answer into the Gwen. This is something that a lot of
Rettet, ihr
people
habt 2
consider a
Minuten
really
Zeit.
strong matchup. You're also drafting Senna that can help, with the cross map ulti. You're drafting TF that can get up there and really get you in a good position. But I feel like if Thanatos does not have a really good game, they are going to really struggle.
Yeah.
And even if he has a good game, later on, you have Smolder that's incredible at scaling, Gwen is incredible at scaling, Yone is incredible at scaling, and you have a Tarek ult that, if it gets good value, could really shut down anything that C9 wants to do. So
Können wir
I love
bitte-
100 Thieves draft. I think they're going to win.
For the love of God, können wir bitte,
The damage for lack thereof
bitte.
from Senna TF in the mid game.
Können wir bitte schauen, dass die Senna gut ins Game reinkommt?
If Ayla holds his ult for the Vladimir, yes, you can use it offensively with the Yone. You can use it defensively against the Vladimir ultimate as well. A really insane turn of events, having Gwen, Pantheon, Yone, 3 of the most banned champions of the entire split on the same team in Game 5 of Fearless.
And this is going to be a spicy one, my friends. One last game in this
Bitte.
best of 5.
Bitte,
Who gets
bitte,
to go
bitte.
on and play Shopify
Ben,
with
enttäusch
us
mich bitte
tomorrow,
nicht.
And whose season ends today?
And is this one last job for 100 Thieves? If they pull it off, they can continue to have more jobs throughout the weekend and throughout the LTA playoffs, seeing if they can take down C9, who are rolling the dice here with Twisted Fate and letting...
Was passiert, wenn Gwen Merc sagt, das ist egal. Ich brauche Rapid Fire Minute 25 TF.
If they lose, this is going to
TF, Rapid Fire Minute 25. Wie sollen die Gegner spielen? C9 holt das Game. Is Pantheon using ausweise Game 5? I don't think he's that good.
It's genius.
I don't think he's that good. And he was banned. I think he was banned previous 4 games.
Right? But that is the risk of any type.
At least 3 out of 4 games he was banned. I think all 4 of them.
I feel like I'm kind of hung up on the the Annie ban, even that it's like, okay, if you really want to give her the Pantheon, whatever. But Quid, I just feel like he is a different beast when he's on these champions with agency. And I would way rather have him on a champion like Annie, where all you can do is, flash stun.
I mean, before Worlds, before Fearless last year, Yone was one of the big champions that propelled 100 Thieves to Worlds last year.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing they were really able even to win on when they made it to International. So he's just so incredible on the pick. I also want to
Was
say
das?
last time there was a draft that I thought was really not
Okay.
favored. Blabber took over the game on Trundle. He went
Okay.
like 10-0.
Yep.
So if he has the right things going in this game, there's 4
Okay, ich erwarte nur eine Sache. Und das ist kein 20 Minuten Atakan gegen Tarek.
And again,
Okay,
exactly. I mean,
ich habe nicht viele Erwartungen, aber bitte macht kein Atakan bei 20 Minuten.
Is someone that people look at
Nicht dieses Game, außer ihr seid 8000 Gold ahead.
You know,
Dann ist
regardless
valid.
of position. And he has been, you know, such a beast for them. But, you know, he didn't have
Grasp of Gwen, keine Ahnung. Lass den Loser
He
hinten.
really needs to step up.
Fucking moron.
Tri-lane camera giving us a look at how everything is. Loki will shove the wave up in mid lane, as you would expect, versus the Yone early on. It's really, once Quid gets to that level 6, things are going to become very, very scary for Loki, and he'll probably have to start looking for plays elsewhere because the Yone kill potential is always so high once the ulti is around. Sven and Vulcan have the push down here in the bottom lane, but again, both of these AD carries, they're just stack maxing. That's it.
Yeah. And Flowers, I know you're wondering why we're talking so much about this when this game will be decided at Otacon.
Yes.
At 20 minutes when it's small.
Esse.
So
Nein.
it doesn't matter.
Nein, Jet, halt dein Maul. Halt dein Maul. Kein Atakan.
How does the
Kein Atakan dieses Game.
fight go?
Nicht schon wieder. Nein, kein Atakan. Nein.
Well, we
Kein
will look
Atakan.
forward to 17 minutes from now
Waiting
Kein
at the end
Atakan.
of my
when Otacon spawns.
Der hat die
Thanatos
gemisst,
level
du.
3 here on the
Oh mein
flat.
Gott, und noch ein.
The cooldown on transfusion is honestly pretty long for the early levels.
Kein
It
Atakan.
becomes okay.
Ich kann die ganze Zeit nur bitte schauen, ne? Was auf
Seite
Seite.
is when you really feel like,
Passiert
okay, I'm
hier?
playing flat.
Voll clear.
Yep, it definitely have to get that seed
Grabber.
going. But that being
Grabber.
said, people
Hat er
can
den-
underestimate
oh, er hat ihn nicht gesehen.
how much
Und-
just spamming autos on something you can do in these
Nein, das meinte ich nicht.
Conqueror. And it's like you can just kind of get autoed down and whittled down if you're
Okay.
not playing very safely. Doku
Okay.
really is respecting the fact that this can be a difficult matchup. He's playing Grasp, he's playing D-Shield. Doku is going about as defensive as he can be, and this is going to be a double scuttle here for Blabber.
Gespottet.
River
Thanatos.
is warded out, so Thanatos
Wait, Zeit wasten.
wants to kind of
Beautiful.
waste his time, but
Nochmal
you don't
hinlaufen?
wanna waste
Ja,
his time
nochmal
so
hinlaufen.
much,
Ja.
that
Verschwendet so
he's
richtig
running
seine Zeit.
into you. So,
Von dem Stück
you
Müll.
gotta be careful.
Okay, passt.
He's completely full health though, with his pool up and flash. So really good early game from Thanatos
Yep.
in this lane. Conqueror auto attack.
Yep.
I do feel like the boldness to just give up Gwen
Hey.
and play the
Hey.
Vladimir by itself is going to make Doka play more passively.
And this is something that people have been
Okay.
talking about a lot when you're talking about the early games, you know,
Okay.
how C9 have been doing. You know, just generally like kind of like last week, and people have been talking a lot about, you know, in the best of fives compared to
Einfach
how
chillen.
they've been doing in splits 2 and splits 3. They had been so dominant in the early game, almost always ahead in gold. You definitely struggled to do that last week. I feel like the early game
doch klar.
honestly have
Wie
been
geht's-
pretty good
wie geht's
in
dir so
this
da oben?
series. They just haven't always been able to convert it. Because even when you look back to
Die haben halt auch, okay, die haben ja
they had a very
quasi
significant
null
lead,
Lockdown.
they just weren't able to then
Ja, die haben niemals genug Lockdown für Wladimir, TF und Senna, oder nicht? Das geht gar nicht. Die können ja gar nicht alle 30 ziehen.
But they had
Geht ja
just
gar
been
nicht.
struggling to actually turn that into a win, and we'll see if they can try to
Right.
create a lead for themselves here,
Oder?
and if they can convert, because
Todes
all the
Lockdown.
marbles now on the line here.
All the marbles on the line in a game with 3 S+ tier champions.
verliere meine
on the
Marbles,
same
wenn es so
team,
weitergeht.
Alongside a Tarek versus Twisted Fate and Vladimir. Fearless Game 5 really.
Jon hat Mercs gerusht.
And I always enjoy when we get to see this kind of stuff. As C9 is up a couple hundred
Jon hat
gold
Mercs gerusht.
across
Das
the
kann
map.
nicht gut
You can
sein.
see the biggest advantages of that are in the Trundle.
Ich schwöre, das kann nicht gut sein.
And in the Senna versus Smolder.
Ja.
Yeah, I mean, his chat was just pointing to Swifty's rush here. For
Bis du gedrückt hast, ich sehe einen Mercs, Jon, ich bin happy.
in a lot of these
Wenn Jon und Wladimir TF ist, scheißegal.
matchups where it's just about
Ich lese den Namen von dem Alien da oben und ich bin happy.
range, kite them out when they're
Welcher
going
TF-Skin ist das?
in. And Gwen
Pulsfire,
really does
oder?
rely on the slows from the
Sollte
ultimate
Pulsfire
to be able
sein?
to chase you down and look for those types of all-ins. So
Yeah.
Thanatos, it is going to slow down his first item pretty majorly, but it is a strong first buy, and we'll see if he can try to get something going here. But it also means that Gwen so far is just getting the push. So Dokla's getting a free reset, and he's going to be comfortable in his spot.
And you could see pings from Cloud9 on the Dragon Pit. Sven and Vulcan with their control over the bottom lane does set up a good opportunity for Blabber to go for an early Drake take. You can see the ward in the pit from 100
Pit
Thieves,
to
though,
SK.
as Vulcan and Sven are just going to keep the
Pisst sie.
aggro on here. Put the
Pisst
pressure
sie.
on the
Passt.
FBI. Try
Dex.
to make sure
Sehr gut.
that 100
Dex
Thieves is
maxing.
focused on them instead of up there on that Drake Pit and Blabber's Trundle.
They're checking to see the Blabber's there. Yone was actually in the river.
Das leckt meine Eier, Ela.
The Drake is not even close to being dead yet.
Okay, 100 Thieves coming in. Trying to stop this neutral objective.
Wait.
FBI,
Holt mir hin.
100 HP, Sven.
Holt mir hin.
Just about the same level.
Loki.
Level 6 throws in the gold card. Stun onto Rivers. Sven down to 200
Wird gegrieft. Warum ist Sven Moritz?
Vulcan and Blab
Was passiert?
at half. And 100 Thieves will take control over this dragon and yoink the objective away.
Really big fight there for 100 Thieves, even if they didn't get
Oh
a
Gott,
kill.
nein, 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 nein.
He didn't go for a kill on the
Okay,
FBI. He was
noch ein Sidestep, noch ein Q und du bist der Gotti.
I just feel like getting Drakes is
Hops.
so crucial for C9's ability to win this game because they need a way.
Meine Senna hat einen Slingshot.
I don't know, like it's going to take so long.
Meine
for
Senna hat einen
Senna
Slingshot,
TF
wie kann das sein?
to sustain damage in teamfights, so they need
With
to
die
have
Slingshot auf meiner Senna.
Yeah, and the real question to me is it's like, no matter how many
Oh,
stacks
horrible.
you get, is that even putting you in a better spot than the scaling that's on the other side, right? It's like, you know, they are scrapping
Horrible.
heavily. You know, there is a Taric, which is one of the easiest supports in the game to farm Senna stacks off of because it has no explosive engage. You can kind of just
Horrible game, horrible
But at the same
game.
token, FBI is scrapping right back with them. You know, he's already on 30 stacks himself. And Smolder Taric, like that is a super strong late game. So yes, Senna is going to be scaling, and I guess you're going to hope that you're going to just be able to kind of like outrange them.
Hey.
But Smolder's poke is going to be so problematic later on into the game.
And Quid is, with Mercury Treads, completely fearless. Like, Leona Twisted Fate can't do anything to a Mercury Treads Door and Shield Yone. Loki also, just with 2 health crystals, like, there's no threat whatsoever, as Quid's just able to apply as much pressure as he wants and delay Loki's recall.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing 1v2, and he's playing like he is the aggressor. And it is Grubs being started up here. River going to be able to look for some more objectives here, 400 Thieves. They already grabbed that first dragon. They pushed off Blabber, and it looks like this
Beide
is
Objectives weg.
probably going their way.
Okay, first grub, easy secure.
Schon wieder mein schlimmster Albtraum gerade hier.
Nobody from C9
Absolut
is
schlimmster
in
Albtraum hier
the
gerade.
neighborhood for this one. So 100 Thieves, 3 grubs for them, plus they stole away that first Drake. They are behind in gold still. Cloud9 is still building advantages in farm in a few different roles. The big problem, though, is still going to be that mid lane. Quid playing as well as he has been playing since 100 Thieves started getting into best of fives, playing, in my opinion, the most broken mid laner in the game. Like this
Im
is
Leben war der nicht in der Range, by the
mountain for
way.
C9 to get past, and Quid is exactly the type of pilot
Im Leben war der nicht in der Range.
Game 5 situation.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you know, if it was a normal draft and you have the Yone, I would be talking a lot about, and you still have.
Und ich weiß schon ganz genau, die werden alles reinfeuern in die Terry-Ulti. Ich weiß, mindestens ein Teamfight werden sie alles in die Terry-Ulti feuern.
That is
Oh,
problematic, but Taric allows you to live through a lot of those situations so well because it is such a powerful, aggressive tool using this ultimate, right? When Taric's ult gets baited out defensively, teams can kind of like go forward and then he pops the ult and then you just run away and you kind of wait it out. When the Taric ult is used on a Yone that is ulting on your Senna's head, you can't just wait it out, right? Like the fight has begun.
You're going to be dead.
The fight is starting, so that is really the problem. And that Bastion Dazzle combo is so strong. Like one good Bastion Dazzle off of a Q3 from Quid is probably going to be lights out.
And here we go, Sven and Vulcan trying to get away as Dokla fires off the needlework. River arrives with
Okay,
the
wer ist hier gut hassbar? Blabber.
and that's going to be both Sven's.
Blabber ist legit Staatsfeind Nummer 1, Johnny.
They have a plan of their own.
Wir wollen das hineingewinnen, aber wir hassen Blabber über alles.
Farming well, was doing extremely well in the 1v1, surviving in the 1v2 against the Smolder and Taric, who can't do much aggressively.
Gib Base, gib Base, gib Base. Du hast doch Rod of Ages, ich riech das doch. Du hast doch fertig Rod of Ages. Gib Base, gib Base, gib Base. Und jetzt ist die Frage, geht der halt Rapid Fire Sector, macht dann kein Damage, oder geht der Lich Main Sector, macht kein Damage und geht dann Rapid Fire Third, macht dann immer noch kein Damage.
Carry on to the next round. We were
Yeah.
talking about
Okay, Rod of Ages fertig. Gültig.
This weekend is if
Double
you are to
TP,
win
jetzt.
the LTA North,
Okay.
best of fives in a row.
Double TP Disadvantage.
Start to the story.
Okay, der nächste Drake ist also gone.
Hit level 9 now, so we've got
Hat die FNA Ability, hast du die Ability Small zu halten? Dankeschön.
Start to come online and become more of an issue, but if we're talking about who's online, who's a problem, it is still that Yone in mid.
Hau ihn aufs Maul, hau ihn mal. Schlag ihn tot, schlag ihn tot, schlag ihn tot.
Subjugate popped by Blabber. C9 make their move and Blabber gets first blood.
Honestly,
Okay,
I'm surprised
okay,
that Blabber
okay,
did that.
okay.
I feel like this has to be a Thanatos game.
Okay,
and it
okay,
seemed like
okay,
Dokka
okay,
was dead to
okay.
rights there. Blabber still had his pillar even. Like I don't think there was any way.
So, Sven, du hast keine Sums.
Either
Du
way,
bist das
still a good
Crossmap
play.
Target.
They do get that kill.
Sven, du bist das
despite the
Crossmap
fact that they
Target.
have this Vladimir, side lanes aren't going to be easy for Cloud9 because 100 Thieves.
Warte mal, mein Tron hat den Kill genommen, aber er bekommt Triforce, es ist valid.
You could have.
Tron hat jetzt
you
Triforce
get
in Base.
to a good spot, one winning side lane, but then how is TF going to do against a Gwen or a Yone late game with the potential of a Pantheon coming in to answer? That is going to be a problem. So I do think it's so important. Give as much gold as you possibly can to Thanatos. You really need that point of power on the map. So not the biggest deal. You know, Blabber might still be able to just make a lot with his gold, but surprised that he took the kill.
Triforce, ja, ich bin auch surprised. Danke, ich bin auch surprised, Azael. Aber es ist okay, weil jetzt ich sehe Triforce.
Coming up here in 10 seconds, if C9 wants to try to contest for that, they are ahead 1,000 gold overall as a team, with the two biggest advantages being in the top lane and the jungle, since those were the two involved in the kill. Despite the fact that we've been talking about how good Quid is doing in the mid lane, it is still a gold lead for Loki as well because of the
Hey, der andere, also okay, Alien Nummer 1 ist auf Toplane und der andere Alien hat noch kein Broadborg, okay, auf Yon. Wir können diesen Drake fighten. Es ist possible, I'm just saying. Aber Essence-Streamer bei Gefahr, FBI, oh my days. Oh nein. Nein, 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 gib, oder? Gib, oder? Ich weiß noch nicht, ob der dritte playable wird.
No chance they can test this one. And the more Drakes that the Tarek Smolder team get, the easier it's going to be for them to play out this game, because when you can just sit around an objective, wait for the other team to fly into you, and then you Tarek, that's when you're at your strongest.
Yeah, I mean, FBI, 76 stacks on the Smolder, has the Essence Reaver completed. They got 3 grubs, they got 2 dragons. So if they don't like the looks of a fight, there's no pressure on this team whatsoever, because Soul, you know, will be so far away from Cloud9.
Rücken, wir müssen aufhören, Free Stacks zu geben.
The pressure is going to be mounting here on C9, and they're kind of painting themselves into a spot where they have a gold lead. They're in a comfortable spot, but if you have one bad team fight, like that could be.
Gibt kein Verhältnis, glaube ich.
That could be really.
Nein.
Ooh, nice pillar, gets Quid stuck next to the wall. Blabber with really good placement on that one, forces out the defensive ulti from Quid. Now without the fate sealed, maybe that can stem some of the aggression that he's been playing with here in the mid lane.
Yeah, because if Loki can't get pushed, Loki can't go anywhere with the TF ult, right? And that kind of has been the story, is that he has not been able to really get out, you know, and actually use this TF whatsoever on the map. For the most part, you can see how actually nervous he is about interacting with Quid. Every time Quid has Q3 ready, has that knockup available, Loki is backing up.
Yes, there's no way he'd be able to win that trade. I think, generally speaking, when I was coaching, we played a ton of TF, and we'd only play it into either winning matchups, volatile side lanes, but we'd always do it with the high damage junglers. So this is kind of a strange place for it. The Vladimir technically would fit the criteria of a volatile side lane, but I'd say Trundle does not fit with TF, and TF and Ionic also does not fit. So this is a really difficult TF angle for Loki to make work.
Sven going to continue farming up those souls here in the mid lane. 28-29 now the count after some quick trading, but FBI closing in on that critical second stack marker at 125. Azael, I know you always like bringing up the fact that each marker then just accelerates the clock further forward towards the next marker, and if he hits 225...
Meine Sender hat 30 Stacks bei Minute 15.
Stacks with this early Drake stacking, if you're fighting for a soul early 20 minutes and he's got that, it's so scary.
Ach, wie Loki hast du mit der die Second Pot, du darfst machen, was du willst, Johnny. Hier ist eine hassfreie Zone, also nein, nicht eine hassfreie Zone, Gottes Willen. Hasserfüllte Zone.
And all of a sudden, if Sven wants to contest the wave at all, he's getting Q-splashed through the minions. And you're getting
mein Problem ist nur, dann wird der Second Item Lichbane haben und ein Third Item Rapid Fire wird dann schon Drake Soul spawnen und dann, oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott.
So he is a little bit behind, yep. But still, you know, in a pretty comfortable spot here in the game. Obviously has not been bloody, which I think is a big reason why he is a bit behind. Hasn't really been involved, I think, in any fights whatsoever. It's just been kind of farming and a couple trades in lane.
We'll see if that changes here. Spawning. River is in the area, but so are a lot of players from Cloud9. Quid going to rotate over alongside FBI. 100 Thieves will begin the objective. Both top laners have their teleports ready to join up if need be. Ayla's going to take some damage there from Sven, but C9 still outnumbered for now. Mom roars in. A whole lot of value coming out of that one. Now Quid gets to reset his positioning.
Slow. Ja, Thanatos. Du Alien. Ja.
Trying to flash away 100 Thieves on the defensive. Thanatos has already killed Ayla, and 100 Thieves are falling to pieces. Feet of Warfare claim as C9 pick up 3 kills, and Quid has to head for the hills, but Thanatos will bury him there. Cloud9 get themselves a delayed.
Ja.
It's the dream fight if you were Thanatos' Vladimir. Ayla uses the
Vladimir ist immer
to
Verlass. Auf
secure
Thanos
the
ist immer
Red
Verlass.
Herald, But then 100 Thieves
Oh, Thanatos auch wieder momentan Platz 1 in meiner All-Star-Pro-Playlist. Oh mein Gott, danke schön.
You do not want if you are Ayla. You want to use it aggressively to guarantee value.
Oh,
I
danke.
think it was a miscommunication. He thought Quid was committing there, but Quid snapped back on the E because the gold card came through. So he does immune that stun, he snaps back, but then Cloud9 just wait out the Terra Gold. As soon as it expires,
Oh mein Gott, schau dir Dokla an.
Big
Dokes.
Finds the dream scenario here in
Big
game
Dokes kann man
5.
Eier lecken, rennt weg vom Fight.
Massive gold lead, and
Fucking
just
fraud.
like that, the hopes for 100 Thieves are slipping away.
Moron.
Speak there at
Sehr
the
gut.
It wasn't the full ace, only the 4 out of 5.
Fucking
but
moron.
Not like Dokla was even able to participate in the fight at all. C9, honestly, just had a huge breakout moment there. They are now 4,000 gold
40 Stacks für Sven, wir sind wieder wer. Warum hast du mir 100 Thieves? Wir hassen nicht 100 Thieves. Ich will nur, dass C9 gewinnt. Ich kann nicht bis um 2 Uhr hier sitzen und dann gewinnt, dann verliert C9 in Game 5. Das kann ich nicht tanken. Das wird nicht gut für mein Mental ausgehen. Dann müsste ich jetzt gleich darüber in mein Schlafzimmer gehen und mindestens 10 Minuten lang mein Kissen anschreien. Und das ist nicht gelogen, leider.
This is such a good position for C9 to be in based on everything we're talking about in this draft. Going against Gwen, Pantheon, Yone, finding that window and getting the gold onto the
Nein, Sven-Interview frage ich morgen an.
And you can see,
Dann ist morgen frage ich Sven-Interview an und am Sonntag, also
wenn
die gewinnen. Dann ist morgen Sven-Interview anfragen und dann am Sonntag Popo-Interview, Part 2.
Use it aggressively and not defensively because the pros are so good about dancing around and forcing you to use that. Try to use it defensively. Don't commit. Waste that ult.
Gewinnt Penelli gegen AMK? Ich hoffe es.
Ja.
Es ist nur ein Best of 5 für Worlds. Von den Dipshits, was macht der?
Crashes the Herald straight into the wall. I'm not sure if that was a misclick on getting into it or what, but trying to get some gold back through those side lanes.
Oh, dog!
Yeah, C9 are also going to take the third Drake of the game, so the fast soul stack no longer.
Quid ist tatsächlich der beste Mid-Laner in der Region. Also unironically, Johnny.
The cost of that, though, was the first turret going the Thieves' way, so they now secure the feats of warfare for themselves.
Hey, cool.
Pressure here, but it's Ayla and FBI getting caught off on the left. Pantheon comes in with a
Thanatos can't be. Rennt.
100 Thieves are bringing over the reinforcements.
Rennt.
Nice job there. Everyone just hopping in the Senna E and getting out of there once Pantheon ulted in. Don't want to be in fights when Thanatos
ist immer noch nicht da. Guys, wollen wir das?
Yeah, they jump in for a little bit of stun onto Ayla, but it's not.
Aber ist das notwendig?
Loses half
Ist das notwendig?
Field from Quid does just that. River picks up the kill at 100 Thieves. 19 minutes in are on the board.
Yeah, looks
Aber
like there
guys,
from Vulcan. Doko's
die haben doch noch Taric
both
Ult.
teams are going to get a tower on opposite sides of
Guys,
the
das ist
map.
doch noch Taric
But
Ult
the upgraded
available.
boots will go
Meine
to
Fan hat
100
48
Thieves.
Seelen. Wen soll die denn
That turret
killen?
first, so they're going to grab the feats there.
Well, the feats were already claimed earlier with the top lane tier 1, but that is very important on a melee team like what we're seeing here with 100 Thieves. That extra move speed could be the difference between closing the gap or not. But gentlemen, the clock approaches midnight. Otacon spawns in 30 seconds. And this could be the moment that decides the entire rest of the year for these two teams.
And real quick, before we get to Otacon, how much trust C9 has been putting into Thanatos and Loki. I mean,
ja, in wen denn sonst? In Blaber? Nein, danke. Nein, danke.
And a Zeri mid, and it worked
Nein.
here. They give over 3 of the most banned champions on the patch for
Niemals Blaber trusten.
and TF mid. They are really allowing these guys the opportunity to play non-meta champions in.
Ey, die sind alle schon wieder in den Bot-Side rüber, ne? Ich schwöre, das gibt mir so Anxiety hier.
I mean, that is what you want from your big stars, the ability to have the confidence to call for these champions, to call for these opportunities where they think.
Zeigt sofort den Trump.
Sven now at 51 stacks here at 20.
Nein.
Blabber is antsy. He wants. You can see him. He caught the W. He's running circles around. That to me is like one of those things where you're like, let's do it. And everyone's like,
Things like, no, go away from it.
oh, man.
Okay, we'll have nothing else to fight for another 2.5 minutes because that Drake will not spawn until then.
Oh mein Gott.
Is gonna get acrobatic with it there.
You never
Das
know.
ist so unserious. Dafür, dass es hier um Worlds und um Worlds Qualifikation maybe geht und nicht ist es mir viel zu unserious.
Quid's just gonna poke him again.
Ey, habt ihr alle Freunde, habt ihr alle einen Schaden? Geht weg.
At this point, the cooldown gets so low on E. The sustained damage you have in 1v1s or in team fights, you can basically just feels like it's always off cooldown.
Wieder Bot River.
As well as having a low cooldown on Q. So as Azel is checking his runes, he has Transcendence as well to lower the cooldown more.
Yep. It does have Transcendence, but it's playing Scorch, which is a little bit less typical. Usually people will just go to
Nein, Blabber läuft schon wieder.
For that secondary, but obviously wanted the laning power here against Doku.
Und ich weiß genau, wisst ihr, warum sie forcen wollen? Weil Smolder noch keine Stacks hat. Die wollen 100% forcen, weil Smolder noch keine Stacks hat. No, 100%.
It becomes very problematic here.
Die wollen gerade diesen Timer, den sie haben, in Klammern, sie haben keinen Timer, ausnutzen, damit der Smolder noch keine Stacks hat. Ist er drauf? Ist er drauf?
Good E-Flash onto the backline. E-Flash, Alt, Q. Someone can just pop.
Ja, Force Flash. Hey.
Ayla might be the
Hey.
target here. Quid provides enough covering fire to guarantee the safety of his support. It's 60 seconds.
Hey, unsere Mitte-Wave. Hallo. Ups. Hey, Flash von Layla. Weg. Flash Ayla nehmen. Sofort.
Doesn't find what he's looking for there with a trap on Ayla.
Yeah, they're really close. They're just trying to get Ayla out of the fight so that he has to burn his ultimate early, because that's the thing that's stopping C9 from really all-inning. Vulcan
Ja, Flash fehlt doch. Wie gesagt, ich glaube, es ist ganz klarer Fall von, die wollen einfach fighten, weil Stacks noch nicht ab sind.
Where they were able to get the ultimate out early and then fight, but that's why they're kind of seeming to only target Ayla, because that's the most important thing in this game.
And that's also why I still think 100 Thieves has a real shot, right? You know, yes, they are down 3K, but if you can get that perfect...
Die 3K sind so fake, by the way. Die 3K sind so fake. Weil eigentlich ist dieser... Okay, also die 3K sind nicht fake, weil der Vladimir halt der Head ist, aber TF Passive ist fake.
Pull it right back into their favor. But it can be difficult to find that timing, and both teams going to be trying to play heavily around it. You can see Loki trying to...
Loki kommt schon wieder dahin.
Does have exhaust up and ready with his spellbook for the
Okay,
fight, which could be
Thanatos
really,
fast
really big.
16. Geist ist es
Quid
nicht.
or Dokla, if they do try to get back in on that backline. It's double exhaust right now.
Exactly. Both of the spells.
Double Exhaust ist big. Double Exhaust ist richtig big. Für Quid. 200 Stacks auf. Oh, der Drake ist weg.
100 Thieves.
Und back to top lane. Sehr gut. 58 Seelen bei Sven macht mich unglücklich.
Oh, and they're just going to start the Otacon. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I mean, Dokla did show top lane. He just finished another item. He has the TP available, and they have been spotted. I can't imagine the C9 commit to it from this spot.
This is the window before FBI is going to be at 225. He's at 205 stacks on the Smolder right now. So C9, they're drawing him in.
Yep, C9 starting it up. Thanatos coming in, looking to help. Otacon only down to half HP.
Smolder, das ist das erste 50-50, das ich von dir erwarte.
Blabber taking some damage for now. Otacon down to 4K. Thanatos with pressure onto the back line, but he's not going to find a whole lot of anything just yet. Blabber so low, about to die. Thanatos may just be the first one down. River taking the shutdown as C9 have to continue their retreat. 100 Thieves now on the Otacon themselves. Loki locked for the gold card. Quid taking a ton of damage there. Has to reset his spot. Blabber still hanging around. Could get a smite fight. Otacon slain by Blabber and Cloud9. Quid going in looking for a little bit more. Loki hits the blue.
Das erste 50-50.
River looks for the Grand Starfall here to cut off the escape route. At the end of the day, the Game 5 Otacon is one down on C9, but they claim the objective.
By the skin of their teeth, C9 get away with it. They do steal the Otacon. Blabber was so incredibly low. Gets in, gets the smite. It felt like River
Oh my God,
has been getting the better end of these smite fights, but they couldn't keep Blabber out. And I just could not believe that they actually went for this. Look at the flash in there from them.
Ich kann hier einiges nicht glauben. Ich kann hier einiges nicht glauben, mein Freund. No joke, ich kann einiges nicht glauben, was die hier abbeziehen schon wieder.
They fly in, they get the shutdown.
Yeah, Thanatos had no chance when the Taric ultimate isn't burned. And Blabber, if he does smite the Otacon, it has so much health. The Trundle passive will heal him basically to half health. So that's why he's like, as long as I get this, he's kind of risking the whole game moving in for this.
Ja, natürlich riskst das Whole Game mit dem Start schon, Mann.
Engage. But
riskt das Whole Game mit dem Start schon, wie immer. Wie immer die gleiche Scheiße mit ihm.
And it could be crucial.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely
Es ist immer dasselbe.
right? That is so close. You see the massive reaction from Golden Glue. had they gotten that, I mean, it was a nearly 1,000 heal onto the Trundle, right? And then Loki barely gets away.
70 stacks auf
Everyone barely
Sven.
gets away. They don't even get any kills after that. And on the 100 side, you can't believe it because C9
Nicht den Ash starten. Der Spot ist... Okay, ich brauche jetzt unbedingt den Flash auf Vladimir. Bitte, bitte, C9 einmal Mercy haben.
Good spot here once more.
Bitte.
As much as I would like to
Bitte,
say
bitte
C9
einmal
was
Mercy
trying to do
haben.
that before Smoke
Wartet
was
bitte
able
auf
to
den
fight.
Flash
He's
von
just trying to
Vladimir,
fight. So there
bitte.
will
Er
not
ist
be
so
another
broken.
teamfight that they can play
Bitte,
before
bitte,
this
bitte.
golden
3
run
Minuten.
for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
Es sind nur 3 Minuten, die ihr abwarten müsst. Es ist nicht so deep. Wie viele Stacks soll eine gute Center... Und danke, Johnny. Appreciate it, Sir. Wie viele Stacks sollte eine gute Center pro Minute haben? MSI Average waren 50 bis 55 bei 20 Minuten.
And you can see the Mikhails is there for Ayla to answer the gold card picks that they are going to be looking for. And Thanatos critically almost has his death cap, which is going to be an enormous
Ja,
spike.
ja, eben. Und jetzt haben wir Rapid... Es ist so free, es ist Rapid...
Yep, that's the power spike we're looking for, but now the Grand Starfall for the engage on Blabber. This might be the catch 100 Thieves needs. Sven and Vulcan can't get him away. The shutdown for the execution there.
In deine Mutter rein. Aber in deine Mutter rein.
Tarek teams do Baron without taking damage because he auto heals the whole time. C9
Thanatos
has
is
to defend
16
this.
though. Thanatos is 16.
C9.
Ja, Bruder, Flash!
Baron down to half HP. Thanatos looking for the angle to get into the fight. Hits a big tides of blood, but he's locked up and killed before he can get anything else. 100 Thieves looking to take the fight even further as Vulcan's going to be their next target. River and Dokla chop him up on killing spree for the Pantheon. Sven and Loki trying the 2v5 now. 100 Thieves back onto the Baron. Again, the health battery that is Ayla's Tarek makes it so
Rivers one.
to try to take these guys over. Sven's on the run. He has to flash away to try to stay alive, but Quinn hits him with a Q3 and executes him where he stands. 100 Thieves take the lead.
One pick by 100 Thieves starts a chain of events that lead to them getting the gold lead in this decisive game 5. Getting Blabber down is so crucial when they have this Tarek team and they just force C9's hand after this pick.
It's just the perfect timing. They find Blabber. He has no.
Okay, aber kann mir irgendjemand erklären, was dieser Nutten-Sohn hier macht beim Basen? Bitte erklärt mir das irgendjemand, Mann. Was macht der da? Was macht der da, bitte? Ich möchte es doch erklärt haben. Was macht der da, Bruder? Dein Alien auf Toplane will doch einfach nur carryen. Das Einzige, was ihr hättet machen müssen, ist den Hut auf Toplane aufsetzen lassen und Flash abkommen. Und es wäre so free gewesen. Es wäre so free gewesen. Nein, wir müssen...
So that the empowered Q doesn't have that damage to kill FBI, like you say.
And you can see, as we're seeing in live right here.
Ja, was denkt er sich? Oh, mein Hurensohn links von mir, aber ich kann es ihm halt nicht sagen.
Very close to this series being over now. Quid, he's going to be able to grab this dragon. They're going to move to Soul Point. Now you're up against Soul Point. Now you're up against Baron Buff. Now you are up against one fight, and your year is probably over. No more mistakes can be made here by Cloud9. 100 Thieves.
Wo ist der Hut?
Of taking this series.
But
Wo ist der Hut?
275 stacks on the Smolder. Twisted Fate is in a side lane because he can't really defend that well against the Baron Minions. It's a 4-1 split push. If C9 tries to engage,
Wo ist der Hut, Bro?
Ultimate.
Okay, Leona stun onto River, but he throws up the shield right as it's about to hit him, so there's nothing C9 can do to try to get a real punish here. 100 Thieves pressure continues.
Setz den Hut auf, sofort!
He's running back to base to try to buy that very quickly. Blabber looking for Quid.
Nein, du schau...
They're going to continue
They're going to go for the pick because Yone has to revert to his original position, but now the rest of the Thieves Loki and Blabber are both about to die. Quid finally falls, so it'll be a 1-for-1 here with the
Nicht raus, gelogen!
Blabber's going to be the next target here as he gets snipped, and stabbed through the heart by River. It's Vulcan and Sven just barely hanging on. Knock, open up!
It's over.
FBI's on a killing spree, and 100 Thieves are breaking into the base.
Blabber and Vulcan are the only ones alive. 100 Thieves have 4 members. Flowers, this could be it.
Thanatos has to perform a miracle defense here. Ayla does not have Cosmic Radiance. FBI and the rest of 100 Thieves continue their push. Nexus turrets in their eyes. Thanatos wants to step forward, but he immediately has to pull the stun from River. Vulcan and Thanatos have to hold on for another 15 seconds. River goes in for the stun. Thanatos is down. Vulcan alive for now. Needs 5 more seconds on Loki. 100 Thieves defy expectations. Eliminate Cloud9 and move forward.
What a series, what decisive plays there from 100 Thieves. Full confidence in being able to pull it off. They find their moment. It looked like Cloud9 had found a pick onto Quid, but everyone from 100 Thieves, as they always do, trusts in each other, piles into the fight. River ults in. Quid turns around with the ult. They win the fight. They close out the series, and they end the year for Cloud9.
Absolute devastation from Cloud9 and Thanatos. Joy of victory and the agony of defeat in this one. This game meant everything. It's the elimination of Cloud9. They will not be going to Worlds. They will not be playing another game.
Hört mir zu, ich werde Blama bis ans Ende seiner Karriere hate-watchen. Ist mir scheiße, wenn der Typ noch bei C9 ist, werde ich das, egal ob das Fan ist, ich werde sie jedes einzelne Game hate-watchen. Mir reicht's mit dem Typen, mir reicht es mit mir. Das ganze Jahr muss ich mir sein Bigs Gameplay anschauen, es reicht mir. Bis ans Ende seiner Karriere werde ich ihn jedes einzelne Game hate-watchen. Ich hasse ihn, ich hasse ihn. Ich hasse ihn. Ich hasse ihn.
Wow, wow.
Ich hasse ihn. Ich hasse ihn. Und ja, der Drop was completely dogshit. War er. Ja, war er. Und wer ist daran schuld? Dieser Hundesohn Inero. Jede Series fährt der 2 Drafts komplett an die Wand, dass du nicht gewinnen kannst. 2 Drafts pro Series, die du nicht gewinnen kannst. Jede Series. Jede Series fährt er 2 Drafts an die Wand, die du nicht gewinnen kannst. Immer dieselbe Scheiße mit dem. Immer dasselbe, immer dasselbe, immer dasselbe. Oh, C9, heute gewinnen sie vielleicht. Ja, wieder 5 Games gegen die größten Dogs. Die größten Animals. 100 Thieves ist nicht gut, by the way. 100 Thieves ist nicht gut, by the way. Das sind legit Animals und das ist egal. Weil sie gegen noch größere Animals spielen. C9. Ich hab so die Schnauze voll von diesem Fucking. Ich schwör, ich kann es nicht mehr. Ich kann es nicht mehr.
Wait, we have 2 more. But yeah, I'm happy that we just managed to win somehow.
Ich kann es einfach nicht. Ich schwör, ich kann es nicht mehr. Ich kann es nicht mehr mitnehmen.
Take the Yone, or were you like, okay, then we can get Yone for Quid afterwards also?
I think we're just planning to trade Pantheon Yon. They're gonna take Yon away from us and.
Boah, ich bin so unglaublich sauer. Ich bin so unglaublich sauer.